Hi, good afternoon. Currently, I'm doing the master at Mount St. Mary's, and I'm in my first semester. And today, I will be discussing about the chapter 22 for the new Emancipation Proclamation for King Alive by Jonathan King. This chapter focuses on how Dr. Martin Luther King transitioned from a movement leader into a nation political figure while facing intense public and pressure and responsibilities. Um, One of the central ideas in this chapter is that King had become a national symbol because of everything he did was constantly watched by the media and supporters and critics. King understood that his personal behavior reflect the entire civil rights movement, so he felt a strong responsibility to maintain discipline and remain committed to a non-violence. And although he accept this leadership role, King privately wished he could return to academic and intellectual work. However, he demands of the movement and made that impossible. Um, so I would just shift to talk about um, national politics. Another major development in this chapter is King's shift towards national political action. It was on June the 5th, 1961. King publicly called on President John F. Kennedy to use executive pro- to use executive power to end the segregation. He also described this proposed action as a second Emancipation Proclamation said by Martin Luther King. This what was the King said, and he also warned the United States could not remain have segregation and have integrate. This was his quote from this chapter, from the chapter 22 as well. And I will move on and talk about the freedom rights expansion. During the summer of 1961, the freedom rights expanded across the country, bringing increased attention to segregation in interstate transportation. And these protests attract activists, including members and volunteers as participation increase fear of arrest turn into collective action. So the next part is I'm gonna talking about the time that he met with President Kennedy. Later in late 1961, King met President John F. Kennedy and the First Lady while in White House. King urged the president to take uh, the decisive action, but Kennedy responded cautiously. Um, but in conclusion of chapter 22, I think it illustrate a major turning point in the King leadership. He moved beyond local protester and became a figure who pressured the federal government to create the national change to basically to create the big change for the proclamation and segregation. And that was the end of the 22 chapters